Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I want to share something I shared at our Tuesday morning Bible study this past week, and kind of inspired by something I picked up from the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. So the teacher and the student are in the chamber that housed the stone replica of the temple. And the teacher said, "That is the brazen altar, the altar on which the sacrifices were offered up and by which the people were reconciled to God." So they'd come and they make a sacrifice and then they're good with God. On the Day of Atonement, after the sacrifice was complete, the high priest would take the blood and enter through the two golden doors into the holy place. He would then go beyond the veil into the Holy of Holies, where he would sprinkle the blood on the Ark of the Covenant in between the wings of the golden cherubim. Everything begins with the altar. What does it foretell, the altar of sacrifice? Well, the student says the offering of the final sacrifice, the sacrifice of Messiah. And the teacher says, so where was the altar for that? On the altar of the cross. And the teacher says, yes, the cross is the ultimate and cosmic altar of the ultimate and cosmic sacrifice, the Lamb of God. But the altar of the sacrifice was only one part of the temple. What about the rest? And the student says, I don't get it. What do you mean? People see the cross as if it was an end of salvation, but the altar of sacrifice was never the end, but the beginning. It is the altar of sacrifice that gives access, the ability to enter through the temple doors, to walk beyond the veil, to stand at the Holy of Holies. The altar begins the journey, so then the cosmic altar must give you cosmic access that you might begin a cosmic journey. The altar of Messiah's sacrifice gives you access to go where you never could go before, to open doors you never could open before, and to enter into where you never, ever could have gone before, to walk a path you never could have walked. So I remember hearing this teaching a long, long time ago. I think it was by Brenton Osgood about knowing God. See, in the Old Covenant, people would come with an animal, and the animal would be sacrificed, and it would atone for their sins. And on the Day of Atonement, they would, as it says here, they'd bring the blood into the holy place. But here's the thing, that many people would come and they'd offer a sacrifice. And then they would walk away. And it's like, I'm right with God now. But do you get what Jonathan Cahn is saying here through the teacher? The point wasn't to stop with the sacrifice. The point was to enter in. The point was to enter in relationship. And so in Hosea chapter 6, it says, come, let us return to the Lord. And then it goes on and he says, he has torn us to pieces, now he'll heal us. He has injured us, now he'll bandage our wounds. Just saying that there are things that we go through in life and that God does want to heal us. So then it goes on to verse 3 to say, oh, that we might know the Lord. Let me ask you something today. Do you know the Lord? Because that's what this is about. And then he says, let us press on to know him. He will respond to us as surely as the arrival of dawn or as the coming of rains in early spring. If we seek him, we will find him. It's as certain as the sun coming up tomorrow. Now here's the verse that I love. I want you to show love and not offer sacrifices. But wait a minute. The law says that we're supposed to offer sacrifices. What does that mean? Goes on to say, I want you to know me more than I want burnt offerings. Do you know what I hear the Lord saying here? And it can be the same thing for modern day Christians as it was for folks in the Old Covenant. They would look at their sacrifice and say, okay, I'm good with God now, and now I'm free to go about my merry way. And some people today stop at the cross. Jesus forgave me. Jesus paid the price for my sin at the cross. I'm forgiven. It's awesome. But what he's just granted to you is access into the very throne room of God. And not just for prayer requests. We might go there first. It's relationship. Now the guilt, the shame, all that goes along with your sin, your shortcomings, your brokenness is behind you. And one day it will be completely behind us. But until then, we get to enter in and be with Jesus. I preached about it a couple days ago, about the treasure in the field. Jesus is the treasure. And the amazing thing is, he treated you like the treasure. He treated me like the treasure. He went to the cross and paid the greatest price of all. Why? Not so we could just be forgiven, but so we could be together. I hope that speaks to you. God bless you. Have a great week.